All right, let's talk about Geno Smith, the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, who, Seahawks, everyone kind of thought were going to walk away with this victory. They were 5.5-point favorites, and my podcast co-host Kyle locked up the Seahawks to win the division, meaning he predicted them to not just win, but to cover the spread. That was his lock of the week, and I thought it was a good lock. Like, I was with him. I'm not throwing him under the bus. It's what most people thought. Yeah, Seahawks were going to win. It didn't happen at all. Seattle only put up 13 points against a defense on paper didn't look that great. It was a bunch of no-names, but a bunch of no-names that played like they're going to make names for themselves in this one. I thought the coverage was good, and let's talk about Geno Smith. Was it his fault that things went wrong, or was it just one of those games? Well, let's get into it. Right off the bat, we can start off with a positive. I did think there were positives in this game. I thought that he still did show some flashes of being the Geno Smith we all know him to be, where like this one, it's going to be zone coverage, and you see the way this play concept can work. The Rams are only going to rush 3, but for Seattle, they have the receiver who is not DK Metcalf, the one who is closer towards the top of the screen. He's going to be running a deeper route over the middle that could get the safety to follow him, and if that happens, then Metcalf, his route, which is the one closer to the sideline, he could potentially get open. Now, corner could come back and cover him, but that's what you hope could happen when this play begins. But first, Smith's read isn't in that direction. He's reading over the middle. In fact, he actually read towards the offense's left. Might have been just to get guys out of position, and it kind of worked a little bit. But, there is a window for him to make this throw if he wants to. It's a tight window, but, you would see some quarterbacks try to fit it through here. Geno Smith, though, he's not going to take that chance. He's going to do something really good here. Watch him instead pull it back. He read the play, saw the safety moved in, so he said, okay, well, that means Metcalf is one-on-one on the outside. Looked over there, Metcalf got wide open, and they're able to gain a decent play there. That's something you absolutely saw Smith do, just not a lot of consistency, and there definitely were some errors. Like, something like this is another one where I almost wonder if they kind of took the Rams for granted a little bit. Maybe they thought that this was going to be a pretty easy day, and when some windows opened, Smith decided not to make those throws just because, like, let's make sure we wait till the wide open throws happen. But wide open throws don't happen too much at the NFL level. Even if you want to say these starters aren't, don't have big names as it stands right now, they're still NFL players. They're still talented guys. And let's see what happens on this play, where the way it works is Metcalf is running more of a setup route on this one, going to try to clear out the safety who is deep and the corner who is deep, as you have a player in motion who's eventually going to go over the middle. This is Tyler Lockett, who's obviously a very good receiver in his own right, and let's see what happens on this play. So Smith takes the snap. He's going to run a play action and then looks over the middle, and to be honest, this is probably a throw that Smith should make. Now, it's not wide open. There is a linebacker over the middle, so you're going to have to throw over the top of him. Again, sometimes we look at this like if you have like a drone and can drop it in. Not exactly how it works. There isn't a great angle, but at the end of the day, still probably a throw that you could make. Smith instead decides not to and is going to try and scramble out, see if something can happen. Nothing happens. He eventually, throws the ball away and then gets hit pretty badly there. There was also a penalty before that. So, a lot of stuff happened there, but at the end of the day, would have liked to see him make that throw. And, that's just my personal opinion. Were there some missed throws? Yeah, there were some missed throws. And again, missed throws are going to happen, right? But still, when you have a bad game and guys aren't getting open and all that stuff, when guys do get open, you really do want to hit them. And this is an example of it, where it's zone coverage, and it's essentially just a rub route, where you have a receiver who's, you can't make contact. You have to kind of pretend like you're running a route, but just go over the middle, try to get in the way of a defender who's maybe going to try and, go over and cover Tyler Lockett. As you see, this play is going to work out really well, as the safety and corner both do cover that first route, meaning that for Lockett, there's a linebacker on him. This is a great situation for Seattle. It really is. It's not, an amazing situation, but you know what? In the red zone here, which they're technically right outside of the red zone at the 22-yard line, but, red zone area, getting someone this open in the end zone, not easy to do. And Geno Smith's throw, there's no getting around it. That was a missed throw. It wasn't massively missed. This wasn't a terrible play. I didn't think this was a terrible game from Geno Smith. But yeah, this is one he would have liked to have back. And in a game that the margin ended up being a lot slimmer than they thought it would be going into it, in terms of, how open windows would be, you had to make those throws, and Smith just wasn't able to do it, quite frankly. And also to set up the situation, to be honest, I actually thought Smith was just kind of like meh in this game. Like, if I had to give like this like a 1 out of 10 grade. I'm probably giving it like a 4 or 5. Like, it wasn't a disaster. It really wasn't. But like, it wasn't good either. And he is getting paid now. You expect him to play well. And also just the situation was shockingly not very good given what we thought would happen going into the game. Like this play, what's going to happen is it's a zone coverage play. Pretty simple. You're just going to flip it to the halfback who's running underneath. This is Colby Parkinson. That's what you're going to do here. Watch as when Smith takes the snap, he's going to eventually look Parkinson's way. There's, he's open underneath. That's what's happening. Smith is going to flip it to him, and it's a low throw, and Parkinson doesn't make the grab. I mean, that's just what happens. So it's like, is that on Smith? Yeah, Smith should have made that throw. Also, if Smith made that throw, Parkinson is getting tackled for no gain, and it doesn't matter anyway. So, like, that's something that happened a decent amount, I thought. Maybe a good microcosm of the whole game. A good example of kind of how the game went was, like, Smith was making mistakes, and also guys weren't really helping him out. But to me, this play is the game. This is the best play to explain what happened here, where, okay, got DK Metcalf one-on-one on the outside. Wow, that's great. Single safety deep, and that safety isn't even going to go over too far to help out here. So eventually he's going to get over, but there's not immediately to the point where, yeah, you can make this a one-on-one matchup. So, okay, definitely something to look at before the ball is snapped. Smith's going to take the snap. He looks up, looks at the safety immediately, which is always a good move. Look at the safeties, see what they're doing. Then he's going to say, all right, well, I have DK Metcalf one-on-one. He's going up against Darian Kendrick. He was a 6th-round pick from a year ago who didn't have a particularly impressive rookie year, but here in year 2, going up one-on-one against DK Metcalf, oh my God, Metcalf's about to get a touchdown here, right? 3rd down and, 5, whatever, we're going to score. Geno Smith throws one up, and, that's a good play by Kendrick. I mean, Metcalf did not gain any separation whatsoever, and in fact Kendrick was able to run him out of bounds right there. So at the end of the day, yeah, that's what the game was guys were not getting open. Geno Smith was put in a pretty shockingly tough situation, again, given how we thought the game would go. A lot of players for the Rams really stepped it up. Kilo Witherspoon had a solid day. Kobe Durant had a solid day. The safeties both played well with, this Russ Yeast guy, I thought had a good game. Jordan Fuller as well. So, really good secondary plays. I mean, again, you look at the secondary guys, those, players I just mentioned, Darian Kendrick, a 6th-round pick. Russ Yeast, a 7th-round pick. These are both from 2 years ago who didn't show a ton. Kobe Durant, a 4th-round pick who didn't get much snaps in his rookie year. These are all from just a couple years ago. Akilo Witherspoon, a guy who, bounced around several teams just this offseason. Jordan Fuller's kind of the one name, but even he isn't like a household name or anything. I think he's had some, he had a solid 2021 season for sure. He's kind of the one guy we knew coming into this could be solid. But as a whole, I mean, this is kind of a shockingly good performance by this Rams secondary, and maybe they found something. I don't know. Or maybe just the Seahawks had a bad day. It's really hard to say 1 week in. Just in case you're curious of how Geno graded in terms of PFF, PFF actually had him as the 20th graded quarterback out of the 32 quarterbacks who played this week, and I kind of agree with that. I think that it wasn't a great day, but it wasn't a disaster either. I think people often look for the simplest solution to a problem. So, okay, we thought the Seahawks would, blow out the Rams defense. That didn't happen. Oh, well, the quarterback probably sucked. Well, it's not always that simple, and in this scenario, I don't think it's that simple either. I think you have to give credit to the Rams, and you also have to put blame on the Seahawks and put blame on Geno as well. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.